Our next speaker is impressive even amongst a list of impressive speakers. Dr. Kalpalatha Guntupalli is Endowed Chair of Critical Care and Professor and Chief of the Division of Pulmonary and Critical Care at Baylor Medical College in Houston. Dr. Guntupalli.
Thank you. I want to thank the organizers, Dr. Narendranath Reddy, Dr. Ganesh Yadlapalli, and Hari Kanjuvaram, for allowing me to speak today. My talk is going to be entirely different than what's published in the brochure. When I was coming, Dr. Reddy asked me, like maybe yesterday or the day before, he said, why don't you talk about Hurricane Harvey since you're just coming from that area? So if I get through that, then I'll get to the real topic. Thank you. I moved to Houston from University of Pittsburgh in 1988. Over these 30 years, I've seen a lot of hurricanes and tropical storms. However, I'm just, sharing some experience over these 4 tropical storms and hurricanes. The first one is Tropical Storm Allison that occurred in 2001. It dumped about 40 inches of rain. And what is interesting in this is that Hermann Hospital, which is a big hospital system, had to evacuate 600 patients by stairs by several floors. And this was made into a movie by one of the cable channels. The second one was Hurricane Katrina, which was in 2005, which many of you heard about from previous speakers. Houston didn't get hit as much. However, there were 250,000 refugees from New Orleans area that came to Houston by bus loads. And we set up a 40-bed clinic hospital complex for about 45,000 people who were living in the Astrodome area. And in this Hurricane Katrina, more than 1,000 people were killed between Louisiana and Texas. So it was pretty devastating. There was Hurricane Rita in 2005. And Ike in 2008, where 21 people were killed, and it was also in our area. So Hurricane Harvey hit Houston it made landfall at Port Arthur area, south of us, at 130 miles per hour. And the rain that was registered was more than 50 inches, and it actually broke all records in the continental USA. It was described as 1 in a 1,000-year flood, and because it was an exceptionally rare event. However, Houston has been hit by what is called 1 in 500-year flood, 3 of them in the last 3 years. About 300,000 citizens of Houston area were left without power. And this hurricane is described as the one with 1-2 punch. Basically, you get hit first, then it goes back into the Gulf area, picks up speed again, and hits again. Fortunately, we were not hit as bad a second time. Just want to tell you where I work. This is Texas Medical Center, and Houston happens to be the 3rd largest city in USA with 6.5 million in the greater Houston area. It is the largest medical complex in the world. It is situated on 1,600 acres of land. It is home to 22 institutions, 2 medical schools, 14 hospitals, and each day 105,000 of employees come to the Texas Medical Center area. And the underground facilities in Texas Medical Center are as compact as Manhattan. There are about 4,500 hospital beds in this very concentrated area. And 3 of the top 5 hospitals a few years ago by US World News are located in the Texas Medical Center. If Texas Medical Center was a city, it would be 18th in the US. And you can see that I just want to point out to you a couple of, I should do it there, I'm seeing. So there are a couple of streets. This is called Fannin Street, this is called Main Street, and these are the main ones that go. And here in the background is your downtown Houston, and this is the Texas Medical Center area. And this goes this way, and Main Street is both ways. And these are the 2 main streets that actually lead to the medical center. This way is MD Anderson, and I'll show you what happened there. So what was the state of the city of Houston when Harvey hit? So 8,700 flights were canceled, and I think I was the first one on the day I came. And a lot of them flights were really evacuating people who were stranded. And the economic impact is significant. It is supposed estimated 190 billion loss. And next is really Katrina, which at $50 billion. So this is downtown Houston in the background. This is Highway 45, and you can see a big truck that's pretty much submerged in downtown area. I'll take you to Midtown area. Can you play the video, please? This is a Midtown area where you have these colored building here, and this is Galleria up on this side, and this is how the whole city was looking at it from the Midtown. The next video I'm going to show you is very interesting, where you have the same streets in 2016 and same buildings that were there before, and now how they look like in the when the Hurricane Harvey hit. Can I have the next video, please? So on the one side you see 2016, and this is same buildings. You can see that they're the same buildings and how they are now. And the street names are up here. So you can see the same, buildings up here on the right side and left side, same building, but you can see how much water is there.
This is Market Street's now Lake.
Market Street is in downtown. This is Mayerland Plaza, about a mile from my house. And I live 2 miles from Texas Medical Center, so this is pretty close to Texas Medical Center. Can we go to the next slide? I think you get the idea. So what was the state of the Texas Medical Center? Next slide. So this is the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center. I'm sure you've all heard of it. And it really spans over many buildings. It's not just floor of a hospital, but probably 8 or 10 buildings. And this is actually the lobby of MD Anderson, and this is what it was. People couldn't get in or out. So this picture here, this is MD Anderson building, and we are really looking at somewhere here. So this is a street. This is Fannin, Maine, and this is somewhere here. You're looking at it from there, looking towards here, and this is actually one of the Anderson buildings. So this kind of hits close to home. I just wanted you, I don't know if you can see it well. This is one of our friends. He's probably in his 30s, and they live about a mile from me. And his house was flooded. They just bought the house in March. And a young family, 2 small kids. And this is him. He's about 6 feet tall. This is actually a day after it kind of lightened up, and he's just trying to get to his house to get some stuff. And they have 2 small kids, and people are going in kayaks actually in these streets. And one of the things you can expect, he killed 3 snakes when he went back to the house just to take photos for the insurance purposes. So this is the same person I was telling you. Can you play the video, please? So he's taking a video for his insurance purposes, and you can see him sloshing, you can hear him sloshing through the house. And so he said there was about 2 feet of water in his house when they ran to the neighbor's house. And this is his kids who are sleeping. Very cute kids. They didn't know what's going on, so they had to put them on the kitchen counter, gave them little cell phones to play with, and then they had to go and really pack like the food and some essentials before they could run to the next door. So can I have those videos play?
During
This is my secretary.
Storm, I lost my car. It was just parked in my regular apartment, but the whole area was completely flooded, probably about 5 feet of water. It covered.
Lot of cars got.
Yeah, a lot of cars got flooded in. So, but
Can you-
thankfully, I didn't lose electricity or.
Can you play the next
didn't get
video,
to my
please?
house.
So this is, I ran into this gentleman in the elevator when I was coming to work on Friday. Is it playing or not? It should have a separate button. And I just asked him, how are you? How was your home? And he said, oh, my home is okay, but I was at work. I said, what do you do? He said, there's in downtown Houston, there is an aquarium, beautiful, huge place. He said, I'm a property manager there. And then, all the fish and the animals would die because if I don't feed them, oxygen is out and the air is not coming in. And then afterwards, he recorded that. And then I said, who are you visiting after I stopped? He said, oh, I'm visiting one of my divers who got stung by a stingray. So these things, we don't think of other professions, but, this is the hospital that I was actually doing duty. This is a level 1 trauma center. It's one of only two level 1 trauma centers. They're unfortunately situated next to each other. Both of us got flooded. So this is actually a 560-bed safety net hospital. 60% of teaching of our medical school is done at this place. Both police and prisoners, when police get shot and prisoners get ill, they both come to the same hospital. So we have sheriff briefings, and there were structural breaches. And the first day, we had to declare a state of internal emergency because some of the pipes broke in the basement, and the nutrition department was there, and the pharmacy needed to be evacuated very fast. Hospital operations, they declared an internal disaster. And unless they say they're in a recovery phase, you cannot really go to normal operations. So no elective surgeries. There's something called ride-out crews that all of our hospitals have. So you bring in 2 sets of crews, 2 sets of nurses, 2 sets of interns, and one group sleeps and the other actually works. So you cannot leave the hospital unless you actually shake hands with your reliever. One mistake was made in one of the ICUs. They let the nurses go. The nurses never made it home because they were stranded in the water, and the relief never could come in. So it was a disaster. So you never let them go unless you actually shake hands, not just in the building. They say shake hands. So you prioritize your list. We were on evacuation, but we only evacuated 5 patients because we didn't have enough food to feed the patients, and we sent all the families out to the evacuation centers. And so you prioritize in the end, we never ended up sending patients because some other hospital got flooded. They had to evacuate 200 patients. So there's a curfew even now to avoid robbery. So, we had to give badges. And this pharmacy had to be evacuated within 15 minutes from the basement to 4th floor. So everybody ran down, picked up whatever they can. Otherwise, we can't function as a hospital. They were moved to the 4th floor. And this is a badge we have to show if we are called when there is a curfew now. So this is the command and control center. And that's where we get briefings. Can we go to we get briefings every day, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And there's police giving briefings. Everybody gives briefings there. Very important communication is done there. This is Dr. Novakovic, one of the internal medicine faculty. He was coming to work, and his car got drowned. And so he had to actually break the windows, crawl out, and swim to come to work. So these are really very, dangerous times. And this is a view from one of my niece's house. Nothing happened to the house, but you can see how much waterlogging is there. Yeah. So this is our ICU team, and, we are, everybody's happy. And these are our nurses taking a break and sleeping. This is the off nurses. And this is on the left side. I always tell my residents and fellows, it's education beyond books. You're never going to learn what happens here. I take them for briefings and everything. It's very, very important. And we are at 72 hours of 96 hours, and we are still smiling. And, our nurses and, so everything that could go wrong, like Murphy's Law, went wrong. I would say even if there was no Harvey that week, any day of the week out of the 52 weeks on the brightest day, it was the worst ICU week, all kinds of complications, and cardiologists were not in the house, GI was not in the house, dialysis left 2 nurses for us who would dialyze. So it was unbelievable. Even on the last day when they were declaring that we are recovered, it was just amazing complications. So the Houston community got into trouble. This is our experience with Katrina, where we had all these people that came from New Orleans, except we were not hit, so it was good. So this is a publication, what happens afterwards, and here, 11,000 patient visits, radiology, 382 x-rays, and what happens, mostly uncontrolled hypertension, respiratory infections. Important thing is norovirus infection that happened for 400 patients. So this is what is happening in George R. Brown Convention Center, and I'll just stop because my time is up. This is some of our fellows and faculty helping. So this is what we're going through now. And I just wanted to just give one few rules. Self and family welfare is very important. Do not challenge nature. Check on water supply at home and so on. Many of our faculty, a third of our faculty of 49 people got flooded, so they couldn't come to work. At least half of us lost, even us, power. Some lost water. I had a fellow whose baby is 8 months old. They had to fill their tub with swimming pool water just for toilet flushes and so on. So do not hesitate people for work. And this is, 500,000 cars are gone. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint, so don't exhaust yourself. So it's about endurance, not a point performance. Sleep is very important. 16 hours of not having sleep is legally drunk level of performance. So you will have errors of omission and commission. Evacuating patients may be more dangerous than that. So I think I'll stop with this. And that's it. Thank you.